theblackboard.com.
What's going on, y'all? It's Jack Splatter, editor-in-chief at TheBlackboard.com, here with Jack's take of the week, and we're just going to talk about the state of online black media. I mean, we're in troubling times right now, y'all. We know from all aspects of black life we're being attacked, controlled by different entities, and something that's been on my mind recently is the state of online black media. And the reason I'm thinking this is I feel like that we have reached a crisis as most websites that we visit to consume information, even about our own people, are white owned. And just as an example, I was just browsing some of the websites. Shout out to allblackmedia.com. They've been doing this for a while. They actually had an article back in January called 7 Things You Thought Were Black Owned. And this might be shocking because I only knew about a few of these things. And they listed an article of some entities that are not black owned. They started with Essence Magazine in 2013. Essence Magazine editor Constance White was fired as corporate overseer, and according to White, Essence was being pushed in a direction that she felt was designed to dumb down the black women in America, focusing more on fashion and beauty tips than on serious issues of the day. And that's one thing we have to look at. A lot of these websites did start off as being black owned, and over time, as they grew, got more income and revenue, they sold the site, which, it's in someone's right to sell their own work. But I think that it's also a responsibility to make sure that if you're gonna sell off something like this, maybe put in the hands of black people so we don't have situations like this. And I'll just go on some more. Ebony magazine. So Ebony magazine in 2011, it was bought out by J.P. Morgan Chase. So that announcement marked the end of the 69-year period in which the company was family owned. So we look at Ebony and Essence right now, two of the largest, established black media companies, actually white owned. So let's keep going because we're not done. Double XL magazine. Double XL magazine actually was never black owned. It's been owned by Town Square Media, another white company. And then when we look at hip hop, we already talk about how the majority of the consumable music, the music on the radio, music that are on videos on YouTube and whatnot, we all know that it's not owned by black people. These corporations, these record companies, that's common knowledge. I don't have to go too far off on that. But Double XL, was originally, created as the hip alternative to The Source. Source it. The Source magazine supposedly got corporate and whatnot. Double XL came out as a new thing that was in touch with the community. Of course, it's white owned, but you know how that works. This one, the Huffington Post Black Voices. So if you're not familiar with the Huffington Post, it's a news website. It's slanted towards the Democrats, towards the liberal side of things. They have a lot of articles that are, usually from black writers. Sometimes they take articles that are written from other sites and then post it on their site. They repost them, but they recently opened a section that was exclusively, aimed towards black people called Black Voices. And within this, you see that Black Voices was actually originally blackvoices.com, and then it got bought under by Ariana Huffington, and then it became Huffington Post Black Voices. So that's another black website that started off doing its own thing. It got bought out. And Huffington Post, to me, it's not that bad, but I do see times where they use some of their articles as hit pieces towards actual black activists. So I'll go in on that later. Then, not even later, because we're getting right to TheRoot.com. TheRoot.com, another black site that was sold to Univision in 2015. So Univision prides itself in being an American media company serving Hispanic America. Univision is really huge, actually. I think they're big in Mexico too. So we have a black-owned company in TheRoot, man. TheRoot is another website that they have good news, they have good updates, but they also publish a lot of hit pieces. We look at Nate Parker, a lot of stuff that's been coming up about him. We look at Tariq Nasheed, Umar Johnson, a lot of these large, prominent voices in the African American community way that the white supremacy or the white supremacist system attacks them is they use black people within these websites that, you know, supposedly are black owned and all about black people. They use their writers and use people on the payroll to go after certain activists. So when they do that, it appears they're doing that under all, you know, we say that, but, you know, we have black people saying that too. So, you know, you gotta agree with us then. So I'm gonna try not to go off too much on topic, y'all. I'm just gonna do this video, go through my initial premise. So we get to TV1. So TV1 is a very, very large company. They actually manage a lot of, I think, channels and shows. And really, TV1 and Radio 1 owns a lot of the majority of black, large urban radio stations that are in, you know, different areas, large cities in America. If you have a black radio station that you listen to on the radio, it's probably owned by TV1. You hear Kathy Hughes, you know, and Kathy Hughes is the face of TV1, but it's primarily a partnership between Kathy Hughes and Comcast, so the cable company Comcast. So that's another entity that has a large influence on TV and radio that's not black owned, but they use a black mouthpiece or a face to get the support from the black community so they can do their shenanigans and their bullshit. Anyway, we look at VH1 Soul, also formerly BET Soul, you know, BET, VH1, all these companies, MTV, they're all owned by Viacom. And so we look at MTV, you know, at some point, you know, 20 or so years ago in the 80s, black radio or black music, really starting with Michael Jackson, it took over MTV. You see at this point, really the only thing that they show on MTV that's black is MTV Jams, if they even still have that. But, you know, they've really negated the influence that black music had on that channel. And then they have VH1. So we have VH1, the infamous shows that are on that shit, Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, you know, we have Coon Central. So at some point I remember VH1 was a viable alternative. It had a lot of good music, you know, they were in touch with the community, doing a lot of soul, put on artists that you wouldn't necessarily see at MTV in the current times, but, you know, it's just Coon Train Central right now, VH1, MTV, BET. So we're looking at those entities right now that a lot of these are magazines or whatnot that start off as physical magazines, but now these are largely internet-based websites. And we're looking at the websites we consume. You know, we got people that probably go to ebony.com, go to TheRoot and stuff like that, and they think they're getting all their black news. They think they're so woke and in touch. We have to have a serious discussion and be able to identify the negative effects that allowing these non-black entities to construct and dictate how our media is presented in this current generation where the internet has such a large impact on our everyday life. You look at kids these days, they really live on the internet, live on social media. You know, people still watch TV and CNN and stuff sometimes. You know, the older generation will still check out the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock news, you know, every night. But really, we're getting a lot of our information, if not most of it, from these internet sites. So especially when we're looking at the negative propaganda, y'all, that when we operate in a system of white supremacy, and a lot of these entities that we're spending our time at, they're really just extensions of that. And then we're talking about black people mobilizing. Look at a lot of these internet forums too, man. Discussion forums and internet forums, you know, a lot of these sprouted from websites, but they become a place where so-called black people can interact with other black people and share their thoughts. And a lot of these websites are fraudulent too, y'all. I hate to break it to you, but we have places like allhiphop.com, not black owned, and really all hip hop that fell off a cliff in the last few years. But it's probably like early 2005 or around that time. That's probably the website to go for getting your news, not just on hip hop, on all types of music. You know, it's huge. It had a really active forum. You know, there's other reasons it fell off too, but we have to look at when these entities sell themselves to white supremacists. You know, eventually the fall off is going to happen. You're selling out. You know, the shit happens. We have Kanye Tither. And, you know, Kanye Tither is really just a Kanye West fan site that has just kind of spawned into a huge forum for all types of hip hop. That's not black owned. We have probably the two biggest problems we have. Two huge websites, Lipstick Alley and TheColi.com, man. We have Lipstick Alley, which has been around. I believe it was originally an Eddie George fan site, and it morphed into just kind of a hub for black women. I'm doing air quotations because right now it's not a black website. They've come out and said that they're not black owned. You know, if you question who the owner is, you're getting banned on site. Members of Lipstick Alley that have been there for a while, you know, if y'all could comment, go ahead and comment, you know, share your thoughts. But it's well known, and TheColi.com is probably the worst because it's currently probably the biggest black or urban forum right now. And my personal experience, y'all don't have to hear that backstory in this video, but my personal experience working with the owners of TheColi is you have two of them. You have a white man who's from Yugoslavia, somewhere out in Europe. Nobody really knows about him except that he's a white dude who's never been in America, but he does the coding, he kind of manages the website, he handles all the maintenance, he really makes the site go. You know, and if they have a problem, people are going to talk to him. But then you got the other owner, the black dude, who's really just a mouthpiece, and by having a part black owner who really don't do shit, they have created the guise that they are a black website. And now you see a lot of these websites, they just perpetuate negative stereotypes. Black women versus white, black men versus black women, excuse me. You know, fighting videos, ignorance, man. They don't encourage good discussion or productive discussion. It's kind of like a world star hip hop type situation where you just have the negative stereotypes that you're magnifying and you're ignoring news. And it's very dangerous when we spend a lot of our time getting information from these websites that have put this white supremacist slant on it, but a lot of people refuse to identify it because they believe it's a black site for whatever reason. So that's why it's important for us to support our black media, man. There's a lot of good, actually black-owned websites out here. Like I said, all black media, theblackboard.com, how we're trying to, the ATL Black Star, Atlanta Black Star is a great website, man. You just have to look into black podcasts, black radio. You know, pretty much it's over for terrestrial radio, man. We're gonna have to lean towards supporting these podcasts, these online shows, these YouTubers that are really out here in the networking within ourselves. We have to focus on that. So I just challenge you, just in the next week or so, just kind of look at what websites you're spending a lot of your time on and just do your research to see who actually owns that and if it is in fact a black-owned website. So again, this is Jack, editor-in-chief of theblackboard.com, 100% black-owned news, media, podcast, discussion forums. Come check us out. I'll put some information down at the bottom of the description. Until then, y'all be safe. I'm gonna holler at y'all later.